Okay. Hi all. Namaskara. This is CA Manichandana and I welcome you all to HM Commerce Education. Yes, so we had commenced with Companies Act 2013. Yes, in our previous class, previous lecture, and today we are going to continue with the same. As you all know, Companies Act is very easy. Yes or no? Companies Act is very easy, right? Okay, let's just start with our revision, like whatever we have tried to complete in our previous class. And today, let's start off with the next topic. Okay, Companies Act, I told you it comes for around 15 to 20 marks easily in your examination, in your paper, right? And we also saw what is a company. Like I just give you certain scenarios, right? Okay, wait, let me show you those as well. See, you can be with me, you can understand what I'm trying to revise only if you have seen my earlier class, and at least, and after watching my class, you have at least tried to open your book and at least try to read whatever I have explained you in class, right? Okay, so what were the four scenarios which we saw in our previous class? So this was something relating to the proprietorship, wherein okay, you came to Bangalore and you had a lot of ambition and you started your own business with small capital of say rupees 5 lakh. And here, what did I tell you, that you only manage the business and you only own the business? Yes, so this is a form of proprietorship. And then we saw a partnership also, wherein uh, two of your friends join hands with you, and then you three of them together run the business. Again, here you only own and you only manage your business. Yes, then we saw the third type of entity, wherein we called it as a private limited company, wherein you asked for capital from your relatives, your neighbors, your well-wishers, all of these, and then you tried to expand your business, right? But here, what was the major thing we saw? That the ownership was different from the management. Ownership different and the management is different. Yes. Next, we also saw public limited company, wherein wherein you wanted to expand even further, and then you what did you do? You raised capital, yes, from the public, and you started doing your business, right? Remember this? Yes. Okay. Now, I also told you about the listed entities. After this, even if you want to want more capital and you want to what? And you want to grow further, then the next option is getting yourself listed on the recognized stock exchanges. Yes, I told you. Yes, I forgot to tell you. I just wanted to give you a few examples wherein, if you know these Starbucks, also McDonald's, all of these chain of restaurants, wherein you can see all of these are listed entities, and they have come a long way. They have started very small. They started very small, and now they have come a long way. Yes, now they are listed entities. They are what? They are operating across various countries. Yes or no? You know, right? McDonald's, Starbucks, all of these are not Indian companies. All of these are not Indian companies. They are all US companies who have expanded so big. Their market is so big. They are what? Running their businesses across the world, right? Okay, fine. I think we also spoke about Swiggy IPO, and the IPO of Hyundai. Yes, they want to get themselves listed on the stock exchanges, right? I think if you have seen my earlier class, you will be able to relate with this. Fine. Okay, let's come to your book. Book here in the sense, yeah, you can either open your study material or my book, which you can always purchase it from our website, HM Commerce, our website, hmclasses.com, and our app, HM Commerce Education, right? Okay, fine. Let's start with your book. Okay, what did we see? The Companies Act has how many sections? 470 sections. Yes, do you remember? Everyone. Okay, has 470 sections, 7 schedules and 29 chapters. I've showed you all of this in my earlier class. Yes. Okay, Companies Act 2013 aims to improve corporate governance. That is obviously relating to the transparency. Yes, there is more transparency in the Companies Act 2013. Then simplify regulations, strengthen the interest of minority investors. Yes, for the first time legislates the role of whistleblowers. I've told you what is the meaning of whistleblowers as well. Yes. Okay. Let's see the next topic: applicability of Companies Act 2013. It is applicable to companies. It is the provisions of the act, meaning this Companies Act 2013 is applicable to what? Companies incorporated under this act or under any other previous company law. Yes, then insurance companies of the said act, where it is inconsistent with the provisions of of the Companies Act, then that for that inconsistency, its act, say for example, Insurance Act or IRDA Act 1999 will be applicable. I have explained you all. I have explained all of this, children. It's just the revision. Yes. Then banking companies, the same thing will apply. Then the generation of companies engaged in the generation of supply or electricity, where whenever there is inconsistency, its respective acts will apply. Then any other company which is governed by any special act for the time being in force, and such body corporate which are incorporated by any act, and when the central government notifies that Companies Act 2013 will apply to that particular body corporate, then for such body corporate also Companies Act 2013 will be applicable. Yes, and we also read the definitions under section 2. Yes, everyone, under section 2 of the Companies Act 2013 defines company as what? Company means a company incorporated under this act or under any previous company law. Under any previous company law. Meaning what, ma'am? Yes, you can always call yourself, you can always call an entity as a company only and only when it is incorporated as a company under this particular act, that is Companies Act 2013, or under any previous company law. Say for example, a company is incorporated in the year, say 2003. Say for example, when you were born, say probably you would be born around in the year 2004, 2005 probably. Yes, you students, CA Foundations students, if you are, I think 2005 probably. Yes, let me calculate. Yeah, around 2005. So whenever you started, your dads wanted to start a business. Say for example, whoever your name, say for example, let's take an example of which student, let me name. I remember, let me remember the name of the student, if I'm not wrong. Okay, Rishav. Yes, yeah. Rishav, say for example, when Rishav was born, his dad started a business, started a company, okay, in the name of Rishav. Say Rishav Foods Private Limited. Rishav Foods Private Limited. This was incorporated when? In the year 2000, say for example 5. Rishav, I don't know your date of birth, but still. Okay, Rishav Foods Private Limited. Okay, now in 2005, was this particular act in force? Companies Act 2013 was not in force in the year 2005. Yes or no? So which was the act? See, I told you yesterday, we saw, right? I just showed you the Companies Act. See, Companies Act 2013, Companies Act 1956. Before that, Companies Act 1913. All of these. Yes, do you remember? Yes. So the previous act, say for example, it was incorporated in the year 2005 under the Companies Act 1956. So now Rishav Foods Private Limited has come a long way. Even now it is running profitably. Now tell me, will Companies Act 2013 or 2013 will be applicable on this particular company or not? Will it be applicable on this particular company or not? Yes or no? Yes, right? Everyone getting it? Understood, right? Yes, can we move ahead? Okay, if you're done with this, this is the part of revision, and from now let's let's start with the main topic, with the next topic. Okay, fine. So I also told you that we whatever we have learned till here is just we haven't learned anything. I see we have just seen where all will this act apply, and you have not learned what is a company. You just know the definition that company is a company incorporated under this act or any other previous law, but you don't know what are the features of the company. Yes or no? You don't know what are the features of a company. What is a company? You all don't know. What are the types of companies? What is there in this particular act? You still don't know, right? So let's get into it. Okay, fine. Let's start with the features of the company. So yes, let's start with the features of a company. Let's start with features of a company. Okay, let's just read what are the features of the company, and later we will understand everything in detail. Okay, fine. The first one being separate legal entity. We're just reading. Okay, separate legal entity. Next being perpetual succession. Third one, limited liability. I just want you to know the words at least. Okay, before we start. Next, artificial legal person. The last one being common seal. Okay, fine. Let's do it one by one. Okay, the first one being being what? Separate legal entity. Ma'am, what do you mean by this concept, separate legal entity? I told you this is one of the most important feature of the company. Why do most of the people prefer company form of organization is because of this particular feature. Okay, so students, you'll all feel little weird when I just start explaining about all of these features, because um, see we will we saw something called artificial legal person. Yes, we just saw right now there is something called artificial legal person, meaning what? See, in the eyes of law, a company is altogether a different person. They're calling it as a person. According to you or anyone, a person means a person, a living person. Yes or no? But here what you will learn is that a company is also a person, but it is not natural person. We'll read that also in some time. See, a company is also a person, but it is not a natural person like us. Getting it? In the eyes of law. See, we're talking about law. We are learning law. Yes or no? So in the eyes of law, company is a distinct person. It is a person in the eyes of law. Getting it? So ma'am, what is this person? We will come to this later, but then let me start with a separate legal identity first, separate legal entity first. So what did I tell you? Company has its own existence. First, company has its own existence. It is a artificial legal person in the eyes of law. Now they're trying to tell you that it is a separate legal entity, meaning it is different from its members. Meaning it is different from the members. Now, who are members? Members are basically the owners. Yes or no? Members are basically the owners of the company. So members different, and the company different. Members different, company different. Getting it? See, let's just see this first. Okay, see, separate legal entity in the eyes of law. In the eyes of law, the company is different from its members. So the ownership of the company is different from the management of the company, or the company is itself different from the owners. Different. Getting it? See, shareholders or owners are different, whereas the company is different. Getting it? So it has a separate existence. It has a separate existence. See, when a company is registered, what are they trying to tell you? When a company is registered, meaning when it is incorporated. When it is incorporated, it is clothed with a legal personality, meaning there is a separate existence for the company. There is a separate existence as a company. As a company itself, you are a person, and it is separate from its owners. Getting it? See, its existence is distinct and separate from that of the members. Getting it? This is what I'm trying to tell you. Its existence is distinct and separate from that of its members. You can clearly distinguish from a company and the owners. Ownership is different, and the company is different. Now come to your book, page number what? Page number 447. Okay, let's just read. Okay, so there are distinctive features between different forms of organization, and the most striking feature, the most important feature in the company form of organization vis-a-vis the other forms of business organizations is that what? It acquires a unique character of being a separate legal entity, meaning in the eyes of law, the company is different. It exists as a different person altogether in the eyes of law. Getting it? Yes. In other words, when a company is registered, it is clothed with a legal personality. That it comes to have almost the same rights and powers as a human being. Now, what are they trying to tell? They're trying to tell you that it comes to have almost the same rights and powers as a human being. Now, what are you trying to tell? That's what, children, I told you that you might feel it weird when you hear it for the first time. When you basically hear it for the first time, you will obviously feel it something weird. Now, what I'm trying to tell, company means some company, and we are persons. How can a company also be a person? What are they trying to tell you? What are they trying to tell you? How does a company has all the rights and powers as a human being? Now, what is it we are not able to understand. But as we proceed further, you will be easily all of this will be easily digestible for you. Don't worry, it's just the first class. That's the reason of Companies Act. That's the reason you're feeling it this way. But this concept, it should be so very clear in your mind that a company is always different from its members, and you can clearly distinguish this particular point. Getting it? See, they're telling what? It comes to have almost the same rights and powers as a human being. Meaning what? Meaning the company can own property. Ma'am, yes, company can own property. So say for example, a building, a land and building, whatever, that particular land and building can be in the name of a company, not the members of the company, in the name of the company itself. So if, say for example, I am the owner, or I am a member of a particular company, say for example XYZ Limited. Now, if XYZ Limited owns a company, owns a land and building, I being the, say for example, I own 99.9% of the shares of the company. Meaning, basically, or not, say for example, 99% of the shares of the company. Now imagine, what was I telling you? Okay, I am the 99% shareholder of this particular XYZ Limited company, and this XYZ Limited company owns a land and building, owns a land, say for example, in some part of Bangalore. Now I cannot tell that particular land belongs to me. I cannot exercise my right on that particular land. Why, ma'am? Why? Because that particular land is in the name of the company. That particular land is in the name of the company. It is not in my name. Getting it? We have to always distinguish in that particular land and building is in the name of the company. Even though I own majority, or say for example 99% of the share, or say for example 100%, 1% company, okay, of the shares of that particular company, still I do not have right over that land. In the eyes of law, the company is the owner of that particular property, of that particular land or building, whatever. So that particular land, who is holding? Company is holding. So it gets the right as a human being, powers as a human being, right? Yes or no? So yes, so the company can own property. It can have bank account. Oh, just like you just would have opened your bank accounts, right? Right, 2-3 years back, once you have become a major. Yes or no? So you would have opened your bank account. Yes, what just similarly, just like that, even a company, even you can open a bank account in the name of the company. So the company also can have a bank account. It can own property, it can have bank accounts. Ma'am, what are you talking, ma'am? Yes, children. Okay, then it can raise loans. It can take loans from banks. It can take loans from other parties. Getting it? Same like you or me. So it has all the rights and powers of the human being. Getting it? Ma'am, what are you talking, ma'am? You will, it's just to, I'm just exaggerating, but whatever I'm trying to tell you is a company is different in the eyes of law. It has its own existence. It has its own existence in the eyes of law. It is different from the members. That's all. The basic intention behind all of this drama is just that one particular line. Okay, see, it can incur liabilities, meaning it can take loans. It can incur liabilities and enter into contracts. See, it can enter into contracts. Ma'am, what are contracts? The Indian Contract Act, you have Indian Contract Act, and you will understand what is a contract, what are agreements, what is everything in that particular chapter that covers almost 50% of your syllabus. Also 50, it carries around 50% of weightage in your examination also. So that particular act, Contract Act, it will be consuming almost 50% of our time as well. So we will go very deep into that particular chapter as well. So what they're basically trying to tell you is they can enter into contracts, contracts being any contracts, enter into contract to sell something, enter into a contract to buy something, enter into a contract with some other party to give certain goods at a particular period, or whatever it is, enter into contract with anyone. So a company can enter into contract with me, a company can enter into contract with you, a company can enter into contract with its own members. Getting it? A company can enter into contract with its own members to supply goods, or purchase goods, sell goods, buy goods. Getting it? So see, a company, say for example, ABC Limited company can enter into contract with me. See here, I told you, no, X, not ABC. Okay, I had taken an example of XYZ. Okay, let me continue with the same example. Okay, XYZ. I told you I am the member of that particular company. Now, this particular XYZ Limited can what? Enter into contract with me to either supply goods or buy goods from me. From who am I? I am the member of the company. Yes or no? Not only me, it can enter into contract with anyone else, because this has a separate legal existence. Children, clear? Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Now, next point. Okay, it is at law. It is at law, meaning in the eyes of law, a person which is different from the subscribers to the memorandum of association. Ma'am, what is this? Subscribers to the memorandum of association, basically meaning the owners. Okay, you will learn the subscribers to the MOA, meaning the initial subscribers. Whenever a company is formed, you give the names of the company, the names of the shareholders who become the subscribers to the memorandum of association. You will learn in the, maybe in say 2 or 3 classes, you will learn about that as well. Basically, just don't have to worry, owners. Okay, so what are they trying to tell? It is at law a person, okay, which is different from the owners of the company. Its personality is distinct and separate from the personality of those who compose it. Compose it meaning who form it. I formed a company, but the company is different and I am different. Getting it? Getting it? In the eyes of law. Yes, clear. By now, I think you should be clear. Okay. Now, even members can, oh ma'am, what is this? Even members can contract with the company, acquire right against it, or incur liability to it. I told you, I can sell goods to the company. I can buy goods from the company. Company can buy goods from me. Company can sell goods to me. Who am I? I'm the member of the company. So it can acquire right against it. Who? Members. Members can acquire right against it, meaning what? Company. Yes or no? Members can contract with the company. They can acquire right against it or incur liability to it. Okay. For the debts of the company, only its creditors can sue and not its members. Okay, meaning if a company for the debts of the company, whatever the debts the company makes, only its creditors can sue it and not its members, obviously, because the company, obviously company is different and members are different. Whatever the debts of the company, it only has to pay. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, ma'am. Okay. A company is capable of owning, enjoying, and disposing of property in its own name. Didn't I tell you? It can purchase property. It can purchase land and building. It can hold assets. It can purchase, say for example, plant and machinery. Getting it? It can purchase shares of one more company. The company can hold shares of other companies. It can purchase shares of other companies. Yes or no? That is what they're trying to tell. A company is capable of owning. It is capable of enjoying and disposing. It can sell property. It can own property. It can sell property. It can buy property. It can dispose of property in its own name. In its own name. Very, 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 very important. In its own name, not in the names of the members, because members are different. Company is different. Getting it? Yes. Although the capital and assets are contributed by the shareholders, the company becomes the owner of its capital and assets. Obviously, when you start a company, you have to bring in capital as cash or capital in the form of assets. See, now obviously I am the shareholder of the company, meaning I'll only bring in the capital in the form of cash or assets into the company. Now, even though I bring in capital, the company becomes the owner of those capital and assets. Getting it? The shareholders are not the private or joint owners of the company's property. The shareholders are not the owners of the company's property. Very, 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 very important. Getting it, children? Okay. Next, the member does not even have an insurable interest in the property of the company. Now, what is this? We'll just read this particular case law. Okay, there is one case law called Macaura versus Northern Assurance Company Limited. Macaura versus Northern Insurance Company Limited. See, this is one particular case law. We saw precedent or judicial decisions in our Indian regulatory framework. We have understood what it is. Okay, now you should not be asking me, Mom, what do you mean by case laws? Getting getting it? This is a part of our law. This is case laws are part of our law. Getting it? So whatever this judgment is being passed, that is applicable to us. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, you all know this. We have discussed all of this in our Indian regulatory framework classes. Okay. Macaura versus Northern Assurance Company Limited. What is the name of the case law? Macaura versus Northern Assurance Company Limited. Okay. Fine. Now, facts of the case. Facts of the case. Macaura. Ma'am, what is this Macaura? Keep it, say for simplicity, let's keep it money. Ma'am, what is money? My name, Mani Chandana, calling money. Okay, fine. I was the holder of, see, I am the holder of what? Nearly all, except one share of a timber company. Timber, ma'am, what is timber, ma'am? Timber meaning woods. Wood, basically wooden logs, these. Yes, timber. Okay, who am I? Remember the name, Macaura versus Northern Assurance Company Limited. Remember the name. Just for simplicity, I'm okay. Let's just use M. Okay, why to? What if you write my name in the examination? Riskya kappa. Okay, let's just call it as M. Okay. So M was the Oh my God. M was the holder of nearly all shares of a timber company except one. Okay. Now, timber company meaning some wooden logs company. Okay. Now, he was also a major creditor of the company. Leave that. Okay. That's of not that important to this particular case law. Okay. Now, M insured company's timber in his own name. Ayyo. See, if you had asked my students, at least, yeah, they would have at least, advised that particular person that, hey, no, you should not do that. See, company is different. You are different, even though you hold all of the shares of the company, but still, you have to take insurance in company's name and not your name, because in the eyes of law, company is different and members are different. Oh my God! Now tell me what happens to the case. Now tell me what happens to the case. The timber was lost in fire. Okay, wait. Oh, agilva. Okay. Now some accident is happening. Okay, now, okay, till here, what did we see? M insured the company's timber in his own name. Ayo, papa. He didn't know what to do. He thought, it's okay, I hold all of the shares in the company. What if I take insurance in my company or in the company's name? Both are same. No. But in the eyes of law, is it same? No, children. You all know? Yes? Yes. Now what happened? Ayo, papa. Timber was lost in a fire. See here, full accident, fire accident. All timber gone. All timber gone. Now what happened? Now M, he's very confident that he has insurance and he goes to the insurance company and then he wants to claim what? He wants to claim insurance. Now what does this insurance company do? It sees, no, it will verify all the documents and it will see the company, the whatever, he is the owner of the company, but the timber is being lost, but the insurance is in the name of the member. Obviously, now it goes to court. It goes to Court, it will tell, no, I'll not pay you. It'll tell the Makhawra that I'll not pay you. And now this case goes to court. Now who will succeed? You only tell me the judgment. You all know. Who will win the case? Who will win the case? Obviously, the insurance company will win the case. Yes, held. The insurance company was not liable. Held. The insurance company was not liable to him, as no shareholder has any right to any item of property which is owned by the company. Which is owned by the company. No shareholder has any right to any item of the property which is owned by the company, for he has no legal or equitable interest in them. Even though you hold all the shares of the company, children, you cannot tell that that particular property, or say for example here the insurance is in my name, so you will have to give me the compensation. Even though I hold all the shares, the company, you will not win this particular case. Getting it? Hence, in this case, then, since the timber was insured in the company's name, M could not claim compensation from the insurance company. Yes, getting it? See how important it is. See how important it is for you to differentiate between the company and members. See, Papa, what would he know? He would think that he is only the owner of the company. What if all the whatever the business is done in the name of the company, I still own the company. So he has taken insurance in his name. Now all the stock is gone. All the stock is gone. Now what can be done? What can be done? Nothing can be done. Why? Why? Because of this particular feature called separate legal entity. Called separate legal entity. Getting it? How important this particular feature is. Okay. Now come to, okay, we are done with this. Okay, this particular feature. Now come to the next feature, artificial legal person. Okay, come to the next feature, artificial legal person. Let's complete this as well. Okay, on page number 450. Okay, fine. Now it's very easy for you to understand. See, a company is an artificial person. Company is an artificial person. Ma'am, what do you mean by artificial person? See, a person, we are all see students, we are all natural persons, meaning we are not created by law or something. We are created by natural process. We are here naturally. But company is not a natural person. It is an artificial person. It is created by law. See, a company comes into existence by law. It comes into existence by law. Ma'am, how? According to the Companies Act, a company can be incorporated. So when you incorporate a company, when you register a company is born. A company is born. So a company is a artificial person. It is an artificial person. It is not a natural person. It is an artificial person. Okay, and it is created by a process other than natural birth. Wow. It is created by a process other than natural birth. That is the only difference they are trying to tell you. Okay, they'll also tell you, you can also see the differences between us and a company, between natural humans and a company. You will read somewhere here. Where? See here. We will read that. Okay, fine. See now, it is legal or judicial as it is created by law. What are they trying to tell you? Artificial legal person. Artificial legal person. It is artificial person. Yes, it is also created by law. So it is called artificial legal person. Okay. It is a person since it is clothed with all the rights of an individual. It is a person because it has all the rights of the individual. It has all the powers that we also have. Now, what are those powers? Okay, very simple. See, it can own a property, it can have bank account, it can raise loans, it can incur liabilities, it can enter into contract. Same thing. Yes. Yes. See, they are only telling company being a separate legal entity, it can do all of this. We learned what is a separate legal entity. Now, obviously, the same thing. Yes or no? Okay, now, see, even members, oh ma'am, again, even members, that is the reason I am doing this after the separate legal entity, or else I would have started with perpetual succession. Yes or no? Yes. See, okay, even members can contract with company, they can acquire right against it or incur liability to it. I told you, we can buy or purchase goods or whatever. We can be the creditor, we also can be the debtor, meaning members. We meaning members here. See, members can contact with the company, acquire right against it, or incur liability to it. Meaning we only can be a creditor and we can acquire a right against the company. So when we are creditors to the company, we acquire a right against the company. We can ask for money from the company. Yes, we have a right against the company, or incur liability. So opposite, debtor. Okay, fine. Getting it? Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Next, it can sue and be sued. Students, what do you mean by the meaning of sue? You all know in our previous chapter, what was that, Indian regulatory framework, I have told you. What do you mean by sue? Correct? It can basically initiate a legal proceeding. Yes or no? It can sue, meaning what? It can go to the court of law against someone else. The company can go to the court of law suing someone else, or someone else can sue in the name of company. Are you getting it? It can sue and be sued in its own name. Meaning what? Say for example, you want to you want to file a case against this company. You can do it, not against the members of the company. You can file a case against the company itself. You can sue the company, meaning the company can be sued and the company can sue against you. So it can file a case against you, meaning it can sue. The company can sue, or it can be sued in its own name. Getting it? Yes, it can do everything which any natural person can do. It can do everything which a natural person can do, except they have given up. They have given certain exceptions also. What are that? To be sent to jail. How can you send a company to jail? How will you make that company go sit in jail? That's not possible. Even though it is a person, we are calling it as a person, it cannot be sent to jail. Okay, take an oath. It seems. Take a oath. What do you mean by oath? Promise. I promise to do so and so. It cannot. It cannot do, no, because it cannot talk, no. Yes, it cannot marry. Oh my God, it cannot marry. A company, ABC Limited company is getting married to XYZ Limited company. All of this is not possible. Okay, it can also not give birth. That also, see here. Why they have missed out that point, I don't know. Okay, it cannot give birth also. Fine. Or practice a learned profession. So, company cannot practice CA. Fine, anything. Fine. Okay. Clear. Basically, the concept is clear. Yes. Fine, very good. Okay, next, it is a legal person in its own sense, meaning it is a legal person in the eyes of law. Okay. Now, ma'am, you're telling a company can enter into contracts, company can, own a property, company can do this, company can do that, company can do everything which a person does. Ma'am, but how can it act, ma'am? How can a company act? Getting it? Who basically acts on behalf of the company? Yes, that could be your probable question. Yes, now they're giving you the answer. Okay, as the company is an artificial person, okay, it can act only through some human agency. Yes, how much ever you tell it is a person, it is that, it is it has all the powers, it has everything of that of a company. It is clothed with some as a person. Whatever you talk, how will it enter into contracts? How will it go and purchase some property? Yes or no? So it acts. It can act only through some human agency. Ma'am, who are they? They are nothing but directors. They are nothing but directors. Yes, this is nothing but the management. These are the. This is the management of the company. The directors, all of these are the man. So even now, I'll tell you, the management is separate and the owners are separate. So the directors or the management works for the company. Getting it? Okay, it can act only through some human agency, that is management, that is directors. They are the agents of the company. Who are the agents of the company? These directors are the agents of the company, it seems. They are not the agents of the members of the company. They are not the agents of the members of the company. They are agents of the company. Company has its own legal existence. They work for the company. They don't work for the members of the company. Getting it right? Everyone clear? Yes or no? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Now, the directors can either on their own signatures or through the common seal of the company can authenticate its formal act. Meaning, ma'am, what is this common seal? What do you mean by this common seal? You will learn. Okay, next feature itself is common seal. Okay, what they're trying to tell you is they can authenticate the formal acts of the company. These directors can use their own signatures, or using the common seal they can authenticate the acts of the company. Okay, fine. Thus a company is called a artificial legal person. Clear? So we are done with two features of the company. The first one being the first one being separate legal entity, and the second one being artificial legal person. Clear? Next, the third one being common seal. Ma'am, what is this common seal? Let's learn. Okay, a company being an artificial person is not bestowed with the body of a natural being. Okay, therefore it works through agency of human being. You all know it does not have a body. Though we are calling it a person, it does not have a body, it does not have a structure. So what happens? It takes the help of human beings, that is directors. Yes, see, common seal is the official signature of the company. So if it has to buy a property, company wants to buy a property, so how will it sign? It will use its official signature meaning the seal of the company. Okay, which is affixed by whom? Which is affixed by the officers and employees of the company on its every document. On every document which the company has to authenticate, they'll use the common seal. Ma'am, but this common seal, is this is it in existence now? Are really in practice, do people use common seal? Is no, children, because it became optional. See, the Companies Amendment Act 2015 has made the common seal optional by omitting the words and that all of this is not required. See, basically, according to Companies Amendment Act 2015, the common seal has been made optional. Okay, meaning the companies can either opt to use the common seal on their documents, or the directors of the company can, any two directors of the company can sign, and they can authenticate that particular document. Let's read this. Okay, see, in case, okay, let's read it one by one. Okay, this is done. The common seal has been made optional. Okay, the rationale for this amendment is that common seal is seen as a relic of medieval times, meaning it's something very old. I think it's been very old. That's the reason this amendment has come up. That is, you can either use a common seal, or you can allow your directors to authenticate the document. So that's the reason they have made it optional. Basically, they wanted to remove, but it's made optional. It's left to the option of the company either to choose whether to use a common seal or allow their directors to sign. Okay, even in UK, common seal has been made optional since 2006. Okay, anyways, fine. This amendment provides that the documents which need to be authenticated by a common seal will be required to do so only if the company opts to have a common seal. So if the company, it's an optional thing. So you've given the option to the company. If the company opts to have a common seal, yes, they can use the common seal. But if the company does not have a common seal, so if the company does not have a common seal, then how? The authorization shall be made by two directors or by a director and the company secretary, wherever company has appointed a company secretary. Company secretary, CS, you all know most of them. I think CA students, most of them, they do CA, CS, CMA all together. They usually study all of these professional courses along with each other. So you all know who is a company secretary, right? They basically are very good in corporate law. Okay, they have their expertise in corporate law. Okay, fine. So what are they trying to tell? By two directors, or when there is a company secretary, they can sign a director, either or. See, it is or meaning it can be either two directors or a director and a company secretary, wherever there is wherever company has appointed a company secretary. Clear? Common seal is clear. Okay, now tell me whether common seal is what is common seal, by the way? It is the official signature of the company, right? Is it mandatory now? No, ma'am, it is not mandatory. It is made optional. It is made optional, right? So if the company opts to not have a common seal, then any of the two directors or company secretary and one director can sign the document. Clear till here, everyone? Okay, so we are done with three features of the company. The first one being separate legal entity. What did we learn? I'm just revising. Okay, this is it for the day. The rest too, we will do it in the next class. Okay, separate legal entity. What is this? This is one of the most important feature of the company form of organization. They tell that the company is different and the members are different. Also, it is distinct and separate from in the eyes of law. It can own property, it can have bank accounts, it can raise loans, it can incur liability, it can enter into contracts with others, right? Next, it is at law. It is at law a person which is different from the subscribers to the memorandum of association, meaning it is separate from the owners of the company. Yes, next, even members can contact with the company. That's what we have learned. The members can contact with the company, acquire right against it, or incur liability to it. Next, a company is capable of owning, enjoying, and disposing. Disposing meaning selling of the property in its own name. In its own name. Yes, although the capital, okay, all of these is fine. Next, the member does not have an insurable interest in the property of the company. That we learnt in this particular case law. What was that case law? Macora versus Northern Assurance Company Limited, where what happened in this particular case? M was holding almost all of the shares of the company of a timber company, and what happened? He had taken insurance in his own name. Though the stock was in the name of the company, he had insured it in his own name. Now the timber was lost in fire. Will he win the case? No. Why? Because the company is different. Shareholder is different. Fine. Yes. Next, okay. Next, we saw what is the feature artificial legal person. That is, a company is a person, but it is artificial person as it is created by law. Now, one more important, children, when a company is created by law, it can only be destroyed by law. That we will be learning in our next class. But just for information, I'm telling you. See, here we saw that it is created by law. It is created by law. So, if it is created by law, it can only be destroyed by law. Getting it? Okay. Now, it is a person since it is clothed with all the rights of the individual. Next, further, it's the separate legal entity, whatever is that they're trying to tell you, own a property, bank account, incur loans, incur liabilities, and then it can enter into contracts. Next, the members can contract into with the company, acquire right against it, or incur a liability to it. Next, it can sue or be sued in its own name. In its own names. That is, it can file a case against someone else, or someone else can file a case against this person, against the company. Fine. It can do everything. That is fine. Leave that. Next. Okay. As a company is an artificial person, it needs the help of humans. So who are those? They are the directors. They are the agents of the company. Are they the agents of the members of the company? No. The directors are agents of the company and not the members of the company. Next, we learned common seal. What is a common seal? It is the official signature of the company. Yes. Is it mandatory? No, ma'am, it is not mandatory. It is optional. It is made optional. So if the company chooses to have a common seal, yes, it can use the common seal. There is no it can use the common seal. But if it chooses not to have a common seal, then any of its two directors or a director and a company secretary can authenticate the documents of the company, right? Everyone clear with with the three features of the company? Yes, if you're clear, very good, very good. Okay, we will do the other two in our next class. Okay, fine, fine. Take care. Okay, bye bye.